Hello folks, Phil Gallagher here for another Legacy video. Today's video is sponsored by Top Decked, and we'll take a look at them after round 1. As far as the deck list itself, this deck list comes from Simone F. From France, I believe. And they sent me this deck list and said, hey, I've worked on this a little bit. I feel like Sudden Edict has made the Delver matchup a lot better. Do you want to give this a go? And I said, you bet I do. So what's the game plan? Kind of along the lines of Cursey. Cursey? Kind of along the lines of Curses. We are a mono-black kind of prison control aggro deck, all in one. Our primary win condition is going to be assembling one of Dauthi Voidwalker or Leyline of the Void plus Helm of Obedience. And this combo will mill our opponent out completely and allow us to win the game once they go and draw a card and have an empty library. If this plan doesn't work, we can also use Karn to get a Mycosynth Lattice lockout, and notably there's another Helm in the sideboard that the Karns have access to. Or we can just play like something like Reality Smasher or Stonecoil Serpent for a large X value and destroy our opponent that way. I'm not sure how I feel about the deck construction going into the match. I wouldn't call them issues, but these are things that I'm thinking about. A lot of times these mono black decks that look like this want to play Dark Ritual so that they can play things like Chalice or Dauthi Voidwalker on turn 1 rather than on turn 2. And we don't have like a Dark Ritual or a Chrome Mox or a Mox Diamond or anything like that to help with mana acceleration. So it seems to me like this deck is going to be a little slower than Curses to get off the ground. I'm also not sure how I feel about Ifnir Deadlands. This is a colorless producing desert. You can pay 1 life to make it produce black instead, or you can pay 2 colorless, 2 black, and tap it, sacrifice a desert, which in this deck is going to be one of these, to put 2 -1/-1 counters on a creature an opponent controls. So this is supposed to be another removal spell for things like Delver and Ragavan, in addition to just these Sudden Edicts. As far as like nitpicky things, I also think the swamps should be split with snow-covered swamps because Predict is a card that occasionally sees play in this format. As far as the sideboard goes, it's very targeted. Most of it is the Karn sort of like Wish package, and then it's a full play set of Plague Engineers, which is super hateful, and a handful of opposition agents. We're just going to jump in and see how this deck feels. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. If you're a regular, please throw me a like. It's the easiest way to support my content for free. And if you want to try this one out, get your deck on the channel or find out more about me, all that information is available in the video description. Let's battle. All right, round 1 opening hand. I have 3 lands. I have 2 different turn 2 plays and an initial Leyline. I think I'm going to keep this hand, and we'll go ahead and flip the Leyline into play. Land go. Dauthi Voidwalker becomes a little redundant with Leyline in play already. Ooh, so we're probably playing against like a Delver deck, in which case the Leyline has some side effects. Oh, maybe Jeskai Rag's still on baubles now? Not sure. A Trinisphere. Trinisphere is pretty dope. If I draw another land, I have a turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 play, so I'm just going to play the Dauthi Voidwalker now rather than try to play it after a Trinisphere. It kind of sucks if my opponent has Swords to Plowshares currently, but otherwise it's pretty reasonable. Okay, they did not. Alright. Oh, wait. Because I have 2 different... Does this not work the way I want it to? That's some shit if so. Yeah, this is no... Oh, what a non-bow. My Leyline of the Void stops Dauthi Voidwalker's replacement effect from working. Huh. Or I guess they get a choice, technically. Alright. Well, let's attempt to give them the 3-ball. Counterbalance is pretty unlikely to just blind flip a 3. It is a Dragon Rage Channeler. Huh. Are you just Delver that's playing Counterbalance in game 1? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Or are you just a blue-white-red control deck? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, so that's a Prismatic Ending. to exile my Trinisphere. That's reasonable. Chalice. Chalice better than Karn this turn? Chalice is probably better than Karn this turn. Alright. So I cast this. Oh, right. The Trinisphere is gone, so I don't need to think about this the hard way. Let's tap differently, though. Let's tap a colorless and a swamp to do this. Alright, Brainstorm on top. Nice, nice, nice. Crash in for 3 more. We might end up going the distance here with just a 3-2. Yeah, sure. I will float my mana like the good little boy that I am. Okay. Send it on in. Opponent's at 8. I think I will go ahead and cast this for X's 3. Again, I expect 3 to be a bit of a soft spot. There will be a few in the deck. My opponent can't Brainstorm to set it up. Oh, and they drew another They're going to draw another Brainstorm. Okay. That's a combo. Also, remember in the deck when I was talking about the importance of splitting swamps? This is a great example of a matchup why I believe that to be the case. But I straight up just downloaded the deck list and fired it off. I didn't make any changes to this one. Alright, you've got a land. I have 6 damage. Send it on in. Okay, looks like it works. Because of Terminus specifically, I don't think I'm supposed to cast another spell here. I think I'm supposed to just pass the turn. Alright, fetching to 1. Which is definitely scary. Okay. You have no targets for that. Okay, good stuff. So we are playing against some sort of blue-eye-red control deck. They have Dragon Rage Channelers, but that's probably just because of how good Dragon Rage Channeler plus Predict is. You cast or Predict, the Dragon Rage Channeler triggers, you leave whatever it is on top, predict it away, and then that just gives you a draw 2 for free. So I don't know how close to Delver my opponent is, honestly. And accordingly, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to sideboard. I didn't see any Planeswalkers that game, so I don't know that I'm supposed to bring in Sorcerer Spyglass. My opponent's initial play pattern of just, like, fetching after I played a black land makes me think that they were playing around Opposition Agent. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what my opponent is doing. I think in the absence of information, I'm going to board Sudden Edicts out or Plague Engineers, because they're both removal spells, but this one can also turn sideways and attack. Okay, my opener is kind of medium. I think I'll keep it. I'm not super stoked about it, but essentially, as long as I draw lands, I have a decent number of tools at my disposal. I don't want another Leyline. Okay, second land drop, but nothing to do. Let's go Swamp here. And I will ram the Chalice out there. It'll probably either get countered or get Prismatic Endinged, but I think that's okay. Okay, we're getting a fetch. And it resolves. But again, due to the presence of Prismatic Ending, I'm not taking that as, like, this is sticking around forever by any means. I think I'm just gonna play my first threat of the game. We'll put this initial one on Human, I believe. Or Snapcaster Mage, because that's something that could still come in end of turn here. Alright. You have a Merfolk Pirate. Alright, another land. And a Jace. That's pretty good here. This can allow my opponent to filter through their 1-drops. I would love to draw a Soul Land. Well, you saw it here first. I called it. Called it. Try to smash. Oh, wow, we get to smash. Reality Smasher will kill Jace. And Plague Engineer will go for their face. That was a great turn for me. Very, very happy about that. Fine with trading off Plague Engineer for Hull Breacher so that I could potentially... Oh, just again? Okay. Sure. Didn't draw another Soul Land to just, like, immediately kill the Jace. So they'll get a chance to Brainstorm and do some stiff. Alright. Play a Tome. I think I'm going to draw my card now. Because of things like Hull Breacher. There's also something like Days Undoing to think about, though. And I could have just, like, drawn a card and, like, not really gotten any value out of that card if my hand gets shuffled away. Someone's got something else for me. Probably a prismatic ending. Oh, a meltdown. Well, I'm gonna go for Reality Smasher this turn. Because next turn, I can Karn into Sorcerer's Spyglass at 6 mana. Alright, what are you gonna do with your Tundra? Okay. Not actual factual counterspell. It has resolved, but the Chalice is out of play, so I could still get Swords to Plowshare here. No! Okay, well, we've killed 2 Jaces. Hello, Predict. And there's the draw 2. Milling a Dragon Rage Channeler. And playing another. Alright, my opponent has a Brainstorm. Not sure how safe my Reality Smasher is from this stuff. And let's start by turning this sideways and see where that gets me. Will it work? Seems like no is the answer. But this is perpetually going to be a 1-1. And that gets rid of a Misty. That's fine. Let's play a Karn. Well, alright, so 100% of the time I'm minusing. Yes. Helm? I'll just pick up a Helm. Give my opponent things to worry about from multiple different angles. Fetch away. My opponent has 2 cards. I have an annoying threat in play. I have a Planeswalker in play they can't kill. There's a lot going on. Yeah, so here's Predict just as the straight up 2 mana draw 2. Alright, the Junk's a Misty. They're up to 4 cards. Okay. A Prismatic Ending can get rid of my Dauthi Voidwalker. Sure. I can take 1 damage on Karn. Then you still have to answer this Helm. Alright. I could also straight up go for a Mycosynth Lattice Lock. Oh no. I would be minusing Karn to 0. Alright, well. Try this. Let's just cast it. Okay. My opponent goes Hellbent for that. Do I want to pick up a bridge here? Or I could just blow up the bauble. Just blow up the bauble. I can get the bridge later just as easily. Karn will take 1. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to keep this Karn alive if I can. Kill this critter. Sacrifice a desert to do this. Yes, I will sacrifice that to its own ability. Go ahead and just plus this, no target. And then hope they don't have Hull Breacher as their 1 card in hand. As long as they don't have Hull Breacher as their 1 card, I can minus Karn next turn and then have an Ensnaring Bridge plus a Karn. Trinisphere is also just great. Let's do this first. Minus a Karn. Yes. Grab Ensnaring Bridge. Play a land. Sacrifice this. Grab Bridge. That's unfortunate. That punishes my line rather severely. It's annoying. I would still probably like put myself as being ahead here. It's if an opposing Planeswalker comes down that I have issues. Now, thankfully, like these Leylines are keeping these creatures from growing. Otherwise, I would have taken a very real amount of damage this game. But my opponent's deck is drawing a lot of cards. Like they've gone through over half their library already. Now let's go ahead and kill that creature. Not because it's not because it itself is all that threatening, but mostly because I don't want my opponent surveilling and setting up their predicts and such. Yep. I currently don't have a colorless source for things like Reality Smasher, just throwing that out there. Now I do. I probably hold this in case I draw a Reality Smasher next turn. Ponder away. This is going to be a slow game now. I am still at 16. I'm sorry. My opponent is at 16. I am at 23. Like, we're both healthy. Dauthi Voidwalker is an acceptable draw. Again, though, Dauthi Voidwalker and Leyline don't exactly have synergy, which is unfortunate. What you got for me over there? Oh, this is probably like a Jace. Oh, it is straight up just hard casting a Murktide Regent. Well, I haven't seen a Daze yet. Oh, and I have Trinisphere. My creature is bigger. And this one has Shadow. Why am I getting blinking lights. Oh, please don't lose power on me. I want to lose this recording. End it. Opponent's at 10. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and shrink this. Like, that card becomes so much less threatening as a 1/1. Okay, and luckily this is phrased whenever an instant or sorcery card leaves your graveyard. So they're never entering the graveyard properly because Leyline of the Void and Dauthi Voidwalkers are replacement effects. What was that? That was a Pyroclasm. Alright, well, let's try to kill him. Boo! Okay, they did not do anything with their turn. For redundancy, I will cast this. Alright, that is a 3-mana Ponder. I'm very scared of something like a Jace the Mind Sculptor right now. I will hold this. Mostly because, like, I have Wastelands to be thinking about. Alright, you have a Dragon Rage Channeler. I only have lands. I'm currently a little bit unsure who is favored. Because, like, I kind of have nothing. My opponent at least has a decent amount of card selection. But I straight up might just deck my opponent. My opponent has 10 cards remaining in their library, and I am at 25 life. I think it's pretty likely that I will just deck them, even if I can't physically kill them. Which is weird. Alright. Plague Engineer is looking even better. With the Snapcaster Mage, though, my opponent is now on track to kill me before they deck themselves. But that assumes that I can do absolutely nothing to interact with them. Alright, we are seeing a Force of Will here. I think my opponent has probably realized the precarious position they're in terms of, like, actually finishing the game. And I don't think Dragon Rage Channeler really surveils properly anymore. I think it just, like, looks at the top card and that's that. I don't know if my opponent gets to cast any more cantrips this game. I will take 3 more and drop to 15. I would really like to draw some spells, though. Like, if I just brick off for 7 turns, I will die. But I probably only need to resolve about 1 spell in order to make sure I don't lose. Oh my god, why? It's getting spooky. I wonder if that's actually a land. I imagine the answer is no. I need to draw anything. That counts. I think I'm just gonna cast this for X's 10. Oh no, I can get 12. Then I play around 2 dazes. 3 if things get real spicy. Okay, it has resolved. Note that if this were a big tournament game, I would be looking at, like, number of, like, Swords to Plowshares and such that I have milled to, like, see how many outs they're going to have to this. Alright, so that's a Prismatic Ending to get this out of the way. I will need to draw another card that does something. We're due for good cards, right? What's a Gambler's Fallacy? Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have drawn 18 lands this game of the 24. Yeah. That is super disappointing. That sucks. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to sideboard. The answer might just be, like, play Sudden Edicts and intend on decking my opponent. Like, go down on Trinispheres or something. Let's try this. This is a 1-lander. I don't think I want to keep that. Same. Alright. Keep this. Pitch Urborg, and I guess 1 land. I hope we're getting the bad luck out of the way in round 1 here. Let's go for Chalice. Alright. There's the classic Brainstorm in response. And it has resolved. Okay, good stuff. I think I'm just jamming. I'll go ahead and name Human for this, because we've got Dragon Rage Channelers and Snapcasters. Alright. They're predicting themselves. I think they were supposed to, like, target me and name Swamp there, since that was blind. Send in with the Plague Engineer. It works. I will just slam Karn immediately. Okay, it works. Go ahead and minus Karn. Yes. I'm gonna pick up a Sorcerous Spyglass. Because the worst possible thing that could probably happen right now is my opponent sticking a Jace. Yeah, that's a nuisance. But that's okay. Like I still get to play around one of the things that would be quite good against me. Oh, do you actually just have the Jace? Oh, you do just have the Jace. I mean, I'll try. Attempt the Spyglass. Yet. I'll attack Jace. I'll sudden edict the Hushbringer at some point. But I kind of want them to make their decisions first, as if Hushbringer is in play. Okay, Jace is just brainstorming, which is good for me. Okay, there goes my Chalice, which is very bad for me. Now, end of turn, I'll kill their Hull Breacher and attempt to kill Jace. Here we go. Will it work? It will not work. Let's go with a Maze Mind Tome then, and a Dauthi Voidwalker. I'm unsure if I want to scry with Maze Mind Tome. I think I do. Pyroclasm's not good for me. Now I kind of think I need to draw cards with this. Like, I need a lot of stuff here. Do I want to play this for Axis too? That doesn't really beat Jace. I'm gonna go ahead and draw, try to make some land drops, or find more threatening things. This Jace is a nuisance, but Jace doesn't end the game very quickly. And my opponent's threats, generally speaking, aren't going to end the game quickly either. Yep, can trip away. I also do have timeout as a potential victory option. My opponent is quite far behind on time. Near deadlands. I will cast a Stone Coil for X's 3. That's fine. And then I think I'm just gonna pass the turn. Their Jace is like way better than my Maze Mind Tome. I'm just saying. Something card equity. Meltdown. Sure. Pretty good. But again, their clock is absolutely anemic. I think I just do this first, rather than try to kill the Jace immediately. It's kind of fucked up, but this shuts off like the predicts and such. Well, not shuts off, but like it eliminates an angle that their deck very much cares about. Okay, yep, so you can still set up the predicts this way. Okay, I've got a Karn. And there are still more Sorcerous Spyglasses in the sideboard, because I had 3 total. Goodbye, Snake. Sure. I'm just going to confirm that real quick. Yeah, still have 2 more Sorcerous Spyglasses. As well as a bridge, and the Meltdown has been used now. As well as a couple of Prismatic Endings, I believe. Only 1 Prismatic Ending has been used. Okay, that's all I've got for right now. Brainstorm away. And then I'll take 3 in combat, dropping to 11. Come on, deck. Stone Coil is unexciting, but fine. My opponent has 7 cards, though. Like, between counter spells and removal spells, I don't expect this to be significant at all. That buys me 1 more turn. Opponent's deck size is rapidly diminishing, but like I can't deploy my cards currently, so I can't super take advantage of that. I wonder when my opponent is supposed to pump the brakes on like drawing cards and surveilling and brainstorming and such. Okay, sure. I'll go to 11. And then I'm on a 3-turn clock. I think my opponent should be switching to Jace Fate Sealing. But maybe that's just me. Goodbye, Dauthi Voidwalker. Yeah, there's the Fate Sealing. I think they basically throw lands on the bottom at this point and let me keep most other things. They let me keep that. A soul land would kill them. If they have a Force of Will or a Force of Negation, I guess it's fine. Which I'm guessing they do based on the fact that they're brainstorming here. Okay, well, that also just leaves me with no outs, probably. I go to 1 here, and I can't answer all 3 bodies. Yep. I mean, I straight up feel like I got unlucky and lost this one. Like, I drew a very disproportional amount of land when my opponent was about to just naturally deck themselves, and they just about did the same thing a second time after I mulliganed to 5. Ugh. GG's, I suppose. This Legacy video is sponsored in part by Top Decked, which is sort of an all-inclusive Magic the Gathering companion app. Showcasing one of the features real quick, the website does have a playtest option that allows you to do things like draw opening hands and do some playtesting to kind of see what your mulligans look like, and it even has all sorts of things like allowing you to create tokens. This is where most of my deck lists end up. It's a pretty cool site. Consider checking it out. Alright, bantered with my opponent a little bit. Now we're ready to go here. I've kept an opening hand that has like a Leyline and a Chalice, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, no interaction from our opponent on the Chalice. I don't really have a good turn 2 play here. Oh. Swamp, eh? I'll pass the turn. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about Swamp. I mean, my mind goes to Pox. I don't know if that's like a normal person play pattern or just the thought that I have. Let's slam a Karn. It resolves. I think I'm going to minus this. Yes. Oh, I guess Helm is just the obvious one, huh? Like, take Helm, kill them forehead. Ooh. What do you have for me? Blue-black. Ooh. So we are potentially playing against Doomsday. Oh, I guess I should explain this one. This one doesn't come up very often. So look at the top 5 cards of your library. As many times as you choose, you can pay 1 life to put those things on the bottom in any order, and then look at the top 5 cards again and repeat this. And you do that until you keep a set of cards. So it can be a way to like tutor for a very specific card, or try to set up a sequence of multiple cards that you do want. It's an odd selection spell. Okay, they like whatever it is they found. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be looking for. Because, like, a discard spell doesn't stop my Helm. I guess a counter spell would. Also just gonna have double Reality Smasher to back everything up here. Oh, show and tell. Huh? I mean, I'll put this in, but I think I'm just gonna die to Omniscience. No, an Emrakul doesn't beat me right now. Okay, Venser. Presume this balances the Chalice. It bounces the Helm, sure. I mean, show it to me. Oh, they showed it to me. I get to look at their whole deck too, which is super great. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, 1 Emrakul. Cunning Wish package. 3 Cunning Wishes. 1 Duress. Okay. Alright, I think I like Opposition Agent. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna sideboard much here. I don't know that I actually want to be playing Sudden Edict. It's something that can take a Grizzlebrand or Emrakul out of play, but, you know, those cards don't kill my opponent. They don't stop them from comboing off. I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to keep them. Like, I don't feel like I need Maze Mind Tomes. I think I'll trim 1 Sudden Edict and call that good. This is a pretty medium-looking hand. Although turn 2 Karn just gets Ensnaring Bridge, and then it becomes harder for my opponent to win. Yeah, sure. Actually, I am going to keep this. Because the turn 2 Karn also could just get Helm of Obedience, and then that offers a turn 3 Goldfish. Okay, this hand is better than I originally gave it credit for. And trip away. I think I'm going to cast a Stonecoil Serpent for X equals. Never mind. Never mind. Nice. So this turn right here is the big scary turn where if my opponent can go like Soul Land, Show and Tell, I'm pretty likely to die. Oh, but they did not. Let's play a Karn. minus the Karn. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and put Ensnaring Bridge into my hand here. That's my insurance policy for the show and tell. Notably, I also shut off the Lotus Petal, taking that line, which is pretty dope. Let's go land. Minus Karn. Yes. Pick up Helm. Cast Helm. Win game. GG's, opponent. Okay, my round 3 here. Had no mana. Bad. Mulligan. Okay, this is more reasonable. I think I keep this and pitch the Reality Smasher. Goodbye. I do feel like this hand is a little slow on the draw, but again, we're not playing 1-drops unless I play that for 1 here, which I don't think I want to do. And so we're not going to have a turn 1 play the vast majority of the time. That just is what it is. Alright. We're probably playing against another Delver or Delver adjacent deck. This is something we talked about on the most recent episode of the Eternal Glory podcast, but a lot of the decks that look like Delver are now just taking the Delvers out of them and playing a slightly more mid-rangey game. Ugh, we just doing that whole thing again? Or are you actually a Miracles deck this time? Play a Dauthi Voidwalker out. Getting a Brainstorm. Nope, Daze, sure. I just wanted to play a quick league. That's all. See if we can avoid my sudden edict getting countered here. Alright, they had a ponder. Goodbye, Ragavan. Alright, cantrip away. I need to hit more land drops. If I hit more land drops, I'm actually not in that bad a shape. Because I have cards that are... This is very aggressive. Oh, are they missing land drops? No, they're not missing land drops. Huh. Okay, sure. Alright, let's try to stick the Chalice right now. And I just don't get to think about playing around days currently. Another Dragon Rage Channeler on top. Yep. Welcome to not drawing lands. I'm hoping to draw some land so that I can play a 4/4 Stonecoil Serpent. That Ponder shuffles. I am in bad shape missing those land drops and my opponent having dazes on my critical spells. This one can be wastelanded. I think I'm going to take a turn to play this Trinisphere. It makes it harder for Brainstorm to fuck with me. I really need this Stonecoil Serpent to be a 4/4 and to resolve. And Trinisphere helps out with that a decent amount. Damn it. Come on, City of Traders is the draw. That's not a feel-good Mishra's Bauble. Alright, I take 6. And my opponent will cycle the Bauble. And Sudden Edict's not bad. Trinisphere. Yep. Yep. I think I'm gonna go ahead and concede here. I'm just gonna save the minute. That wasteland there was just kind of a nail in the coffin, I think. I get hit for 6 here, and then if I answer 1, I take 3, go to 3. I'll be in Lightning Bolt range. It's not happening. Let's bring in a pile of Plague Engineers. I mean, Karns come out. I feel like Maze Mine, Tome, Karn, Trinisphere in some ways are my weakest cards. The Karns are essentially just another copy of Helm or Ensnaring Bridge, both of which are kind of expensive. Karn's bad against Daze. I feel like I want to be impacting the board most of the time. Junk those. Go down to Trinisphere. See how that feels. Man, my mana's so bad here. Wasteland is absolutely devastating. I don't think I can keep this one. This hand is better in some ways and worse in others. It has stable mana, which is worth a lot. I don't get just got by a wasteland. Alright. Just answer this uncounterably. And then this buys me a turn to play around days as well, which is quite nice. I've already mulliganed though, so I'm already down a card. And my opponent was on the draw, so that gives them another card. Alright. Oh. Fantastic. I just want to run that back. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run that back. And I'm just going to do it now and not let my opponent surveil more. And then next turn I can go for a Stonecoil Serpent or a Dauthi Voidwalker. Alright, predict Mill's days, getting 2 cards. And another cantrip. There's already a lot of stuff in the graveyard, which means I'm not stopping a Murktide with Dauthi Voidwalker. Also not shutting off Delirium by playing it. I'll play a Stonecoil Serpent for X equals 4 around a Daze. And get a Force pitching a Daze. Oh, they didn't dash it. Oh, do you have Murktide too? That's obnoxious. That's an 8/8. You're just a monkey? You are a monkey pirate. Alright. Name monkey, kill Ragavan. Hurt myself. Play Dauthi Voidwalker. That's the 3rd daze of the game. And I'm dead in 2 turns to this Murktide Regent. There's the first 8 damage. Cast a Dauthi Voidwalker. Alright, there's a predict targeting themselves. They get the draw 2. We'll now make a 1/1 blocker. Crash in for a couple of points of damage. And my easiest out here is my opponent, like, casting a Swords of Plowshares on one of my creatures, and then I get to, alright, well, I can just die. That's fine. That's fine, too. Ooh, okay. I spent 6 minutes in the queue looking for a match, but I have found one. I'm gonna keep a turn 1 Chalice hand. The rest of the hand is medium minus at best. Hopefully it works out. I think if Chalice either doesn't resolve or isn't good, this hand does not get there. But when Chalice is your best turn 1 play, and you have it, you gotta keep. Okay. My opponent thought for a long time on that mulligan decision before keeping. Will my Chalice resolve? It does. Nice. I feel like now we still have to pass the Prismatic Ending test. Karn. Cast a Stonecoil Serpent for X is 3 this turn. I would like a little bit of information about what my opponent is doing before I just slam this Karn. So, like, for instance, I don't know whether I need to be playing around Daze yet. I don't know whether my opponent is, like, a control deck, a tempo deck, a combo deck. And, like, how I choose to play this Karn is going to vary a lot depending on what my opponent is doing. So, next turn, for example, I could theoretically, like, play Karn minus, grab Mycosynth, and go for a lockout the following turn. Hard to get a read on what my opponent is playing right now. Bug Delver decks aren't very common, so I'm probably not going to play around Daze here. Let's just play a Karn. See if it works. Gosh, I've already dealt 6 to myself. It resolves as well. Minus. Yes. What do I even want? Like, next turn I can minus again and grab Mycosynth Lattice. Let's just grab Liquid Metal Coating. Alright, we're seeing a fetch. Are you an Abrupt Decay deck? Are you a Storm deck? What are we dealing with? Icefang Coatl. That's still pretty ambiguous. Could be something like Aluren. Some sort of Green Sun deck. Okay. My Karn did not get poked there. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go for the quickest possible win here. Go for Liquid Metal Coating. Alright, it resolves. Attempt to destroy Bayou. Okay, looks like my opponent's going to do something. Alright, they're going to Abrupt Decay the coating in response. That's fine. Plus and destroy Bayou. I think I just want to play another Chalice on 1 in case my opponent has another Abrupt Decay. Sudden Edict's okay as well. Yeah, honestly, I don't hate just Sudden Edicting here. The Icefang Coatl doesn't have Death Touch right now, and I also have protection from Multicolored, but if I keep my opponent really pinched on mana, it doesn't matter too much whether or not I play another Chalice right now. Because even if they answer the Chalice, that doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory for them. And I think I'll attack rather than hold back. Like, my Karn can take a point of damage. I am good with that. Alright, good stuff. Let's try to win. Minus Karn. Yes. Grab Mycosynth Lattice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attempt to win target game. Fail. That's fine. Crash in for 3. Like, You can poke the Karn if you want. I don't care. The Stone Coil's probably pretty hard to remove, and it tramples. And also, if near Deadlands, and kill this Dryad Arbor at some point. Might just do that before I do anything else this turn. Yeah, let's kill Dryad Arbor. Yes, I will sacrifice this to its own ability. Okay, cool. End it in. Cool. Amped a redundant Chalice for 1. And plus Karn with no target. What did the Force of Will pitch? Ponder. Still super ambiguous about what exactly my opponent is playing. Generally speaking, I don't tend to like Chalice versus Bug decks. They can just remove it or ignore it relatively easily. I'll probably like board out most or all of my prison elements. And like board this sort of stuff in. Let's do something like this. This may or may not be boarding correctly depending on like what my opponent is doing, but this is a pretty safe boarding pattern. And this is a very easy mulligan. Alright. Toss back a city here and do a bajillion damage to myself. Okay. Cabal Therapy. So looking more and more like Aluren right now. They care about Chalice of the Void more than I thought they would. Do I want an early 2/2? This is probably just better off as like a 5/5 later. I'm gonna play a Maze Mind Tome. I do not think I want to scry with this. Alright. Fetch away. Opponent is going for basics. Okay. A Brazen Borrower. A little surprised about what all's going on over there. But it is whatever it is. Alright, so there'll be the blue source. Yep. Grist. Okay, that is a nuisance. How is Grist worded? Okay. That's quite a good draw. Yeah, that's quite good. Oh, and Acerak got milled, by the way, which pretty much confirms Aluren. Living Wish Aluren, which is a little unusual, but Aluren nevertheless. Throwing this out there now, I also think my opponent needs to play faster than what they're playing right now. So they're already down, you know, about 3 minutes on clock, and we've been moving very quickly in terms of like number of turns these games have lasted. And it takes a long time for Aluren to combo off. Like, you have to complete a dungeon in order for Acerak to deal 1 point of damage. Like, there's a decent number of clicks involved. I don't think you get to take 30-second pauses between game actions if you're playing Aluren. Sure. Spellseeker is fine. Okay. So they're gonna junk the Spellseeker to kill my Plague Engineer. It's a bit of a nuisance, it is what it is. Still think I'm gonna hold out on drawing cards with Maze Mind Tome. Sudden Edict is not doing anything right now. I think that's fine, because this has protection from multicolored. I will take my 6/6. So the dream here is that my opponent forgets that, like, this has protection from multicolored, and they, like, minus Grist, and then are, like, forced to destroy their own Grist. That would be dope. Alright, just a land. I don't know how deep my opponent's Green Sun package is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to get, like, Leovolded or Rex-Saged here or what. Alright, so it is predictably for 3. Okay. They are Rex-Sage levels of deep. Oh. I did not expect the Trinisphere to be the thing that was going here. Alright, so they get an insect. I am going to get to kill Grist this turn, though. Like, Trample is a hell of a drug. Okay. I believe this is a blind Cabal Therapy. I don't know how good this actually is. Alright, sure. I'm going to go ahead and draw my card first and just make my decisions with the highest possible degree of information. I think it's worth the life for me to do this. Ooh, a Karn. That's very, 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 very good. Please let me take game actions. I would like to do stuff. Alright, attack Grist. Grist dies. Play a Karn. Alright, Karn has resolved. I will minus Karn. Yes. I'm gonna grab Sorcerer's Spyglass here. I think that's better than Chalice in the current spot. Alright, Brazen Borrower, Brainstorm, Diabolic Intent. I really thought they were just gonna have, like, Aluren, Cavern Harpy type stuff in hand. Okay. We're just gonna shut off their fetch line then, since they didn't fetch. Alright, Brainstorm away. Note the Verdant Catacombs is off, so this might not be a perfect Brainstorm. Alright, the Brainstorm's resolved. They will get to fetch stuff away with Misty. My Karn's gonna get poked, that's fine. Alright, there is a tutor. Okay, how do I want to play this turn? I think I want to start by drawing a card with Maze Mind Tome. Another Dauthi Voidwalker. Sure. Play a new land. Karn plus on Sorcerer Spyglass. Attempt to bash in for half of my opponent's life total. I'm successful. Now play a Dauthi Voidwalker. And fast the turn holding up Sudden Edict. Okay, no action from my opponent. Okay, fetch. Alright, there's a trop. Okay, that's going to be a Dryad Arbor. And an Aluren. Do I Sudden Edict now? Probably Sudden Edict now. Alright. Do your final 2 cards allow you to combo off? Okay. Now what? Die? I see. So I believe Acerak is just a kill here on its own. I am going to cast this with Aluren. And then I am going to F6. Now, notably, I am a big fan of conceding to infinite combos, but my opponent is down 6 minutes on clock. I am going to win this match by running out the clock in all likelihood. So I'm just gonna let it happen, and I'll unmute in a minute and give you an update of where we're at. Oh, I guess notably, my opponent does only need to drain me 3 times because I have dealt 17 damage to myself. Lol. Okay, so there's the combo turn. That's a little unfortunate. It is what it is. I want Trinispheres for this matchup. The opposition agents are even better than I thought they were. Plague Engineer's medium, Tome is medium, Dauthi Voidwalker's medium. Go down some Maze Mind Tomes and 1 Plague Engineer. And play this. Alright, see what this hand looks like. This is a turn 2 opposition agent. This will be a keep. That's very potent in this matchup. Alright, opponent kept on 6. I'll just go land go. I'm not going to play a Stonecoil Serpent as a 1/1 here. Alright, nice. I'm going to get an opposition agent blowout in all likelihood. No, I'm just going to cast this so I can play a 5/5 Stonecoil Serpent. I'm going to let my opponent fetch. I think specifically since I have City of Traders, it's awkward for me to continue this game. You can have your lands. Plague Engineer is not bad, although I don't think I'll be casting that this turn. Alright, opponent's at 15. Let's make a large Stonecoil. Go big. Ooh. I think I managed to avoid getting that sneeze on audio. Alright, force pitching force, that's fine. Alright, got 3 basics and Grist. Alright, well I have the literal perfect answer to that. Let's Plague Engineer. Name Insect. Okay, I don't want to play any of these. And let's punch Grist. Grist now goes to 1, which is relevant because it's a -2 to sack and destroy a creature. Sure. It's a scry 1 the first time, right? Yeah. Alright, I need to hold up Sudden Edict, so I actually might make a land drop this turn. Attack Grist, attack you. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make a land drop. Alright, there's an Acerak. I think I'm just gonna take this out of their hand with Sudden Edict. Like, if they have a second Acerak, like, whatever. But if they have a second Acerak, my Sudden Edict isn't going to stop it anyway. It's like, I'll Sudden Edict, kill the first one, and then they'll just continue comboing with the second. Alright, you have the Aluren. Do you have a second Acerak? They do have a second Acerak. That is super disappointing. Oh well. GG's. I guess there were some things I could have done differently. I could have just like main phased opposition agent on my second turn, let them fetch, and try to deny a future fetch. But like after my opponent didn't play around it, I wanted to try to get the value. They levy. Alright, for the final round here, I'm keeping my opening hand. I don't really think it's anything exciting. It's a little bit slow, but I have plenty of mana. We're potentially playing against a Moon Stompy deck of some nature. Nope, we're playing against a Ruby Storm deck. What do you got? Burning Wish. We're just getting goblinsed. And I'll probably die. Forget to crack your LEDs. Or are you going to, like, grab an Echo and Echo? You're gonna grab an Echo and just try again. Sure. My second hand is much worse. Like, this hand, like, makes one land drop and then does nothing. Sudden Edicts are very bad in the matchups, although the Karn is quite good. What'd you imprint? Galvanic Relay, sure. Okay. Land go, unfortunately. Sometimes you cast something like a Burning Inquiry or an Echo and it just completely decimates your opponent's hand. That is a great example of that. We'll see. My opponent could just like miss on a relevant spell though, and like that's that. Oh, they just got willed for mana. Okay. What are you Burning Wishing for this time? Oh, Peer into the Abyss. That should kill me. Do your thing. Okay. That represents just a disgusting amount of mana. I'm probably close enough to dead that I should just concede. Save my time. But some of my viewers might find what my opponent is doing to be sweet and interesting, so I think I'm just going to let my opponent do it. But I'm going to do a bunch of my outro stuff while I think this happens, because it's going to take a while. Overall, I feel like the deck that I'm playing is kind of medium. As we can kind of see here, there's a lot of times where you draw the wrong piece of the deck. You don't have cantrips or selections holding things together. And when you have that, and also a lack of early game plays, that sounds kind of scary. It's kind of surprising to me that we like basically managed to just like deck some of our opponents because Leyline of the Void shut down their threat base so hard. So that's something to keep in mind as like it's neat. But I feel like our prison elements are kind of soft. I feel like our aggro elements don't necessarily come out of the gates quickly. And that leaves me in a weird position overall where I don't really know what I think of this deck. I don't necessarily just like think it's bad. But like there's some anti-synergy. Like Leyline of the Void stopping Dauthi Voidwalker, for example, is a really big deal. And like I just don't have the opportunity to do a lot of things that my deck is designed to do. So like sacrificing Dauthi Voidwalker and playing a big dumb spell that my opponent has is something that like a Dauthi Voidwalker deck wants to do, but I basically don't have that opportunity, and Dauthi Voidwalker ends up being something a little closer to a 3/2 unblockable creature, which is fine. But if I want to be the aggro deck, you know, should I have Thought-Knot Seers as well? I don't know. Okay, I assume this Burning Wish just kills me. They crack an LED for black, and then it's a Tendrils. Okay, or Grape Shot. Yeah, that's fine. I can now concede to that. GG's. I do not want Sudden Edicts. I don't think I'm going to try to answer a Burgie that gets into play. I think I don't want Maze Mind Tomes. The rest of this stuff looks pretty good. So it's a question of, like, do I want to play Sorcerer Spyglass for the Horn? Do I want to play Opposition Agents for things like Gamble? Do I want to play Plague Engineer for, like, an Empty the Warrens? That could happen. Do I want to just play another Helm? Have a better chance of naturally Helm comboing? I think I want to play the Opposition Agents. Plague Engineer and Sorcerer Spyglass both seem medium to me. Maybe that means I do keep my Use Mind Tome. play like one more land. This hand is a keep, and the question becomes, what am I doing with this Chalice of the Void? Is this Chalice of the Void going on 0 or going on 1? They do different things. I think I want to put it on 0. I feel like stopping Lion's Eye Diamond is pretty big game. Okay, they sat there for like 2 minutes thinking about this Chalice. I don't know why. I'm going to cast this Stonecoil Serpent for X equals 2. I want to pressure my opponent's life total. I'm sure that's obvious because like I am definitely the beatdown here. I'm looking to put a lock piece into play and then turn creatures sideways. I can potentially do more damage with it by playing it for X equals 4 next turn. But the thing is, if I draw something like an Opposition Agent or a Karn or a Trinisphere, I would much rather do that instead. So I am potentially going to lose out on a little bit of damage to just like guarantee that I have some damage next turn. I'm going to go absolutely mad if I just have another round of crazy slow play again. Alright, Stonecoil has resolved. Alright, there's a Blast Zone. Okay, cool. Yeah, and this is exactly the sort of thing I was talking about, right? With, like, guaranteeing that I get some damage. I definitely want to play a Chalice on 1 here. Actually, is Chalice on 2 better for the Burning Wishes? Probably. Alright, so I'll cast the Chalice on 2. Okay, that's just a concession. That's fair. I don't think I'm going to change how I've sideboarded here. Okay, I mean, this one has a turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Trinisphere. This is an easy keep. Please play cards. Please play cards. Okay. It begins. Alright, Rite of Flame under there. And a Burgy on turn 1, sure. Okay. And if they've got an Echo or something on top of this, it's absurd. And they do. Talk about the perfects. So now they, like, randomize me into a new hand, which is much, much worse than my previous hand. Alright. Sure. Sorry, YouTube, but I am bored. I've had multiple opponents basically like time themselves out or deck themselves this league. It has not been very fast-paced Magic on my end. You might not feel it as much because I edit out all of the dead air, but this has been painfully slow for me. Okay, replay the Mox. You return via Void Snare. Sure. The draw 7. This hand is worse than my first hand, but better than the previous hand I had. Okay. That's probably a good sign for me, honestly. Like, that's their first play after a wheel. Starting a Rite of Flame and an Opal. Yeah, they're digging. What just went there? Blast Zone. Oh, another Echo. Great. Sure. There's another 7 mana. No big deal. Oh, they actually did some other stuff. That's a Galvanic Relay, so if they can't kill me this turn, they get to try again next turn. There's the Horn. Shattering Spree. Yikes. There's a Petal. Oh, there's also just a Burning Wish. That just kills me. That just gets Grape Shot and I'm dead. Alright. Cool. I die on turn 1. Ahead. Like 12 minutes on clock. Alright. We're done with this league. That's a disappointing end to this league. No play points back for this one. This deck doesn't really get a thumbs down from me, but it doesn't really get a thumbs up either. This one's kind of in the middle for me. I already kind of did my outro stuff in the last round. I'll say I do wish I had more turn 1 plays of some kind, even if that means like having some Lotus Petal or Chrome Mox or Dark Ritual or something that doesn't necessarily have perfect synergy with a lot of the rest of the deck. Anyway, I hope you found some of that enjoyable. If you did, please click the like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. And if you want to try this one out or get one of your own decks on the channel, that information is all available in the video description. Have a great rest of the day.